Me and the homies were pulling out the driveway, yelling now it's my day, as it was the 13th on a Friday. As we speeding on the highway, on our way to the liquor store, until one of the homies' mama called, asking for the car. When we got back, this story sounds like a K-Dot ripoff, but I swear to you it isn't. So why don't you just bear with me and just take a listen. It was the year 2017, hated this year, but didn't let it get the best of me. It was October and I spent the day with the boys. We was just riding around, giving out the noise. We bringing venom, not the poise, leaving the bitches moist, and they just hear our voice and get wet, not like we have a choice. But tonight we were looking for a new objective, like I'm rapping on a beat, we just trying to get aggressive, hitting up the club to find the man who say he got the blueprints of the plan. We hear him say, whatever y'all need, I got y'all. Just complete one more mission for me and later y'all can ball. You see, we've been working with Mr. Solis for what it feels like a century, but we had a debt to pay for him like we didn't know. No one mentioned me. It turns out he wanted us to trespass into a mansion, threaten a rival mob boss to talk about the new expansion. An empire was being built. Mr. Solis says, either y'all do it or I will, and if he does, then we gonna get killed. So I said, nah, we got it covered, as I got behind the wheel. The clique was driving through the cold streets of Alexandria. My boss better get ready, cause we ain't amateurs. Man, I got my boys, I be Jason and Dish Dick. We ready as we pushing the clips. Tonight we shooting more than just a movie, getting lit with the drinks and Dish Dick smoking that doobie. We pulled up to the location and hopped out, told Jason to stay and look out for the cops now. As he was surveilling, we entered through the gates and into the building. We looked around and up to make sure there wasn't any cameras in the ceiling. So we in the area observing every room, until my homie whispered he was on the master bed taking a snooze. We creeped in and put the Glock to his head, asking him to get his greasy ass off the bed. Then we proceed to interrogate. Seeing Dish Dick shaking, he never been afraid. So it was just us three aiming a gun at a man during one shook night. And I asked the bitch of a man, what does Ellis Solis look like? He kept saying what, and I double fucking dare him to say it again before I fill his whole fucking body up with his lead. He said he was white and that he had long hair. I asked him, does he look like a bitch? And I didn't even care. Shot him in his shoulder before I said my prayer. I can give a fuck if it wasn't fair. Then we decided to leave his body hidden. Caught all 4 lines and we started dipping. Heading to the vehicle, no seatbelt. If you can only know how we felt. Fuck, we drove off without a trace. We just had our enemies' blood all over the place. We just hit up the liquor store for a couple of bottles. I pulled up into the store with the homies Tahoe. Called up Mr. Solis and said the mission was done. Told them we murked his bitch ass and we made a run. Out of nowhere, the police pulled up and hold their guns at us. I heard the phone line disconnect and that's how I knew we were fucked. Mr. Solis told us out since one of the homies fucked his wife. It ain't our fault that she did it twice. It ain't our fault that she wasn't a dyke. We denied he did on the phone, but it wasn't suffice. Hours spent in the jail cell hurt us like no other. One of the homies joked like he did it without a rubber. So don't be surprised if his family has now a little brother. I shook my head, tell him to shut the fuck up as I mutter. Suddenly our jail cell opened and we found out it was the homie's mother. Bailing us out, we said thanks, but we gotta head out for another. We driven out of the police department, looking for Mr. Solis' old hideout apartments, knowing he would be there, knowing he would be scared. This is the last time someone double-crossed us. We tried to open the door shut. So I B and I nodded while Jason and Dish Dick nodded. We break down the door and started shooting once we got in. We didn't even plot this, who wants a static? None of us got shot, bitch, Mr. Solis just panicked. We made our way through the hollow tips, pistol whip him, the 6'2" motherfucker made him our bitch. Put the Glock to his head, pulled back the hammer and asked him if this is how he wants to be dead. He said he was off his meds, didn't know what he said. Said bullshit, he sold us out to the feds. So I asked him if he had any last words. He said duck motherfucker, and that's when we heard a car crashes in and demolished everything in the living room. In come the cavalry, but they knew he was gonna get up shot up real soon. Homies didn't back out and we stayed shooting. Hold our positions and fire, that's what we was doing. Mr. Solis made an escape, he must have booked out, cause we couldn't see his bitch ass during the shootouts. So I beat through that grenade, Jason stayed behind the blaze, and Dish Dick smoking that gravity bong. After this, I knew we was done. It was over, no more revenge. We couldn't never let get this worthless piece of shit of a man. So we began to wait and let everyone shoot out their own fucking ammo. Then all of a sudden the heat is gone, now it's time for these bitches to get handled like Rambo. We headshot every one of them and walk across their bodies. Jason was pissed the fuck off, so he pulled out the shotty, driven through the bodies in their own vehicle. Bobbing our head out to Smurda, yelling out about a week ago. Fuck with us, you must be tweaking ho. We stay spraying, so here we go. About to get a silent kill, call it Smurda. We just stay packing heat with these burners. Car crashing, Mr. Solis, it was time for payback. We made a left, we made a right, then a U-turn, then we waited at the lights. Then he took a turn, so we took a different route. Crashed into the side of his car, and then we hopped out. Put that burner to his mouth, asking what you gotta say now. Watch him piss himself before the gun say pow. It's all over, redemption has been made. All because one of our boys was just trying to get laid. One of us yelled out, what the fuck we gonna do with his fat ass of a body? I replied, we throw it to the river and let him drown and get soggy. So we all nodded to each other and decided to throw him out over the bridge. We just did the animals a favor, we just fed them to the fish. Did the poor a favor, now they can get rich. Gave all the leftover money to everyone in urban places, letting everyone know they earned it. Every color, every creed, each of their faces. We became heroes but later got arrested. The wife of Mr. Solis came in and say she was pregnant. We served a maximum of 5 years before we were released. All of us laughed it off, flipped off the police before we hit the streets. Then years later the greatest mixtape dropped, proving all the haters wrong, saying it was gonna flop. Driving around the streets, my 6'4", till someone says stop. It was a woman who got hit in the face, saying we need to kill Bond, James Bond. So we smirked and ran up to the house of Sean Connery, busted through the doors and tell him to get a count of these. Rest in peace, as we shot him several times before I got a chance to stomp in his face. Distorting this bitch of a motherfucker all over the place. Then we robbed him of his safe, gang bang his wife and come all over her face. Can't believe people let this bitch live, what a disgrace. I fiend for this moment, loving the chase. So it was over, then we leave, poof, without a trace.